All right, ladies and gentlemen, not sure if you can hear me, but I figured I'd kind of take this opportunity to do a live stream. I haven't really done this before here at my old high school, as you can see right here. It's been ages since I've actually been back here. Well, I wouldn't exactly say ages, but I think you kind of understand what I mean by that. But, uh, well, it's assuming if you guys can hear me, but I thought I'd take some inspiration and take some time to get some stuff together of my own. And here I am. An artist's way of trying to get some motivation. I've already finished my second story, and so I just thought I'd come back here. Just kind of felt a bit drawn back, but I'm trying to avoid the sprinklers, by the way. But you can tell there are many lights on that are still here. Still kind of creepy when you take a look at some of the dark edges of the building, but can't really help but feel like I'm always drawn to this place, no matter how much time has passed. But again, because I'm about to be 32, I'm 31 right now, in just about a few weeks, I'll be 32. But you know, it was up to my junior year that I actually went to high school here. But we're going to be passing a familiar area, which I'm not sure whether if I'm actually the one. I'll just say it. I can't help but feel responsible for this kind of thing. But I guess I'll show you guys here in a moment. But we're about to pass it. But yay, we haven't passed it just yet. But I'm kind of like scrolling by. Tell how creepy it is. But I don't know. I was so young back then, and a teenager, and a poor little dumbass I was. A lot of things I could have learned. All right, so you see this right here? I can't help but feel like I'm responsible for this because I would always like to go see like up front and see how everything's changed now, but I guess they blocked that entire area off. But again, I can't help but feel like I'm sort of responsible for that, which I don't mind, I don't care, but I sure hope they don't plan on doing that expansion again because honestly, that doesn't seem. I can't bear that to be honest, but I guess in a serious point, so much of my life has changed. And I do mean that in a good way. And it's sort of sad still, because coming back here still kind of gives me some very sad moments. I'm not entirely sure if it was. No, this is a brand new part of the building in that sense. Not exactly brand new, but still. But this wasn't exactly part of the building when I went to school here. But this is exactly why I come back to these places, because this is actually where my inspiration for one of my books came from, was something like this. Now, it's not exactly this place, but it's basically one of the core places that gave inspiration for one of my horror stories. But if I were to live stream back in Georgia to the elementary school that I used to go to, that's exactly where that place took place in one of my stories. But it's stuff like this that gave that inspiration for it, and I'm actually happy to be back at it again. As you can see, there's my school logo. That's why I love the color blue and gold so much. But let's see, is there any way I can actually access that from here? I don't give a rat's ass if they say anything. I've been coming by this place for so many damn years. To me, it's home. So if they got an issue with me, I can tell them to fuck off. But that's just how I am. And who knows? But as long as I'm not like around during the school time or whatnot, that should be okay. But it's just where I go to reflect. But that's just how I am. But I'm not staying here that long anyway because I've already passed by like already once, and I don't really feel the need to pass by again. But I think the need for me to kind of do what I'm doing right now is to kind of reflect something. And it's sort of weird because I'm not going to reveal too much of personal details, so I'm going to keep certain names out of this. So, back up to my junior year, all the way up to my junior year here, I was about 16 or 17 at the time. Again, I'm 31, I'm fixing to be 32. I was, for the majority of my life, man, I was trapped in a certain kind of vice. or a certain type of, you could say, addiction or a habit. Well, it's not a bad habit or anything like that, but it was something that, I felt trapped in, and I felt trapped in for a long time, up till about maybe a couple of weeks or maybe a month now that I've been, I haven't really gone back to that habit, and I'm very happy about that. But a lot of it had to do, it was more contributed to the fact that I was completely obsessed with this one person in high school, and honestly, I'm glad I got out of it and I just stopped thinking about that person altogether, and I really am glad that I moved on. As painful as it was, I'm glad I moved on. But I think the painful experience of that is that. What's up, Leo, man? How you doing? And by the way, how you doing? By the way, RZ. I think the thing about it for me is that I felt so trapped in my habits. I felt trapped and I felt helpless and I felt like I wasn't going to get out of it. And it wasn't until up to this point in my life that something kind of opened up to me, and I hope I can stay away from it because the temptation is always going to be there. Whether if you know it or not, whether if you break free from what it is you have, that temptation will always be there, and that's why you can't stop. And that's why I advise to you all that if you are striving for something, never stop and don't ever give up on it, because temptation will always kind of lead you into an opposite direction. What kind of a question is that, by the way? No, I'm not transitioning or anything like that. I'm just talking about a personal life story. I was born a dude. I'll always be a dude, if that answers your question. But I'll grow my long hair back, that's for sure. Leo, I got into beatboxing, so it helped me with my microphone depression. Okay, I mean that's a good way to cope. See, finding those things to help you, deal with depression or despondency, or just dealing with just shit that makes you lonely. Because as you can tell, this is what I do. This is one of the things that I do with my life is that I wander around. I go back this entire area that you see here. This is my past. This is where my life was. And this is one of the biggest inspirations of where I get my creativity, my stories, my lyrics, my poems, and all that. I may not have officially like released a song because I've never really kind of like stepped up forward as a frontman in a band, but this entire place that you see here, this is this is where it all comes from. The main part of it, because this is where the most important parts of my life have happened. Just caution for that in case people try to cross. But you see, this is how I saw my life. I want you to take a good look at this road here. And I want you to, from your own perspective, I want you to tell me what does that mean to you, despite the light that's coming forward, because that's a car. But what does that perspective mean to you by looking down an empty road? And dude, I actually hope you're actually a lot better from that now. But if you're into a healthier place, then good. But let me ask this question for you guys. When you saw down this road, from your perspective, what did you see? Because in my perspective, what I saw was my life empty, completely empty, devoid, quiet. Despite it was solitude, but even in that much solitude, it can really hurt you. It's a never-ending kind of thing. It's a never-ending kind of path, and I do agree with that. But then I started realizing, since my freshman year of high school here, something I didn't realize is that maybe writing was my passionate thing all along. I had an obsessive thing for a crush of mine in high school, and yet I used my writing to kind of describe exactly how I was feeling. And how dumb of me not to figure this out, not even since middle school. And I was a slacker, complete slacker, even in middle school and high school. But yet to realize that something in me had just realized not too long ago, from the time I started writing stories. And yeah, I had a writer's block, but this was this is what I was good at. And that's why I kind of want to pursue that kind of passions. And you guys may not see me on YouTube as much anymore, which I may actually come back a little bit more, but just not in the sense that you guys would see me as a ranter. I don't want to keep going on and ranting and just doing all this stuff. I just want to tell stories now. I want to share fiction. I want to share something that means so much. And I want to get away from the person that I once was, this overly flirtatious dude that seemed to actually creep people out, which, even though that was never my intent, it's not the person I ever wanted to really be. I wanted to be an artist. I want to be someone who actually entertains people, that shares stories, that shares the ideas, shares an entire world of fiction. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but again, I'm not going to mention names, but a certain person, I'll say, a certain celebrity, just set me free from all this other shit. And I'm really happy about that. And I'm completely content with how I feel, because it's so ironic, because the person I had this obsession with in high school was a big contributing factor. And I'm not placing blame, but a big contributing factor to just indulging in my own, habits. And yet somehow this person now, this other particular person, not really in my life, but someone to like, that kind of just debuted their existence as a muse and as an inspiration in my life, just set me free from all that. And it's perplexing, but I don't feel like it's coincidental. I don't know what any of these guys are doing, but like, I don't honestly care. It's If the internet itself is going to actually just, maybe that's the reason why, because some people just like to define people by their flaws. And honestly, who cares? I think I finally found something that I'm good at, and I think I've always placed myself at the very bottom of the totem pole, and honestly, I figured I am actually worth a damn. And honestly, who cares what people think of me? Some people could think about this one particular person in my life that I'm just in love with the idea of the person, but that may be the case. But a family member made a good point to me, that if I could actually love my Lord and Savior Jesus, someone who I've never met or spoken to in my life, that even though I still give praise and faith, I could still fall in love with this particular person. And again, I'm not going to mention her name, because honestly, I just figured it's kind of best to keep that to myself, and I like to be respectful. But the inspiration that I get from that person, I used to be like that. I used to just think that I'm just fine and content with just working, as long as I'm working in either in retail, or if I'm just working some sort of job, I'd be happy in life. Oh my gosh. How stupid was I as a teenager to ever think that? How stupid was I to ever believe that I would find full happiness by just doing that? No, trust me. While it is a good thing to get yourself a job and be productive in life, when you start feeling miserable where you are, certain things in your head are going to actually turn in different gears, and a lot of things in life are going to change for you. And that's something I had to learn the hard way. And while I'm going to say that, like, I have fallen back into my habits, time and time and time again, and yet somehow I feel sober right now from everything. Trust me, it's not an easy ride though, but I'm going to continue to ride that journey. And I'm going to continue to make books. I'm going to continue to actually do the things that make me happy, and I'm going to continue being me and continue to strive and be above that, because as much as I love everything that is around me, and you're going to see my old home, by the way, but as much as I love all this, and it will always be my home, I can't I can't keep myself pasted here forever. I can't keep myself bound here. As much as it will always be my home, it will always be my own kind of kingdom, in a sense. It will always be home to my heart forever, even in my afterlife. I'll say that, but I can't keep myself bound here for the rest of my life. I have to go out and I have to find exactly everything that I want to work for, everything that I want to feel. I guess what I'm saying is, I want to find the complete fulfillment in my life. I've lived the life here. I've lived some of my best days here before. Some of the best days of my life have been here, and I wish I could literally see that again, just like a flashback. And sometimes I do. Hello, by the way, guys. I'm also keeping track of all these, so just to make sure. And I'm honestly, whoever's here, whether if you like me or dislike me, it doesn't matter. But I've learned to throw away, disdain and hateful types of things, and just heated arguments or just any vendettas against people. I don't care who you are, because it's not about that anymore. It's not about ranting and raving and talking about things that piss me off in life or feeling jealous or feeling these sort of things because it's not healthy. It's not the kind of life I want to live anymore. I want to be an author. I want to be happy. Was he your teacher? Who's that referring to, just to be sure? I'm kind of holding the phone, so I'm not exactly sure, but we're not too far away. I'm literally just like a couple hundred yards away from my old home. So I actually remember that name, Double Pulse. I actually remember you in a sense. It's a bit familiar, and it's good to actually see you again. And I also want to kind of take this time to extend a welcome even to those that don't like me or have a huge disdain for me still, or even hate me. That's completely fine because honestly, I would actually just like to have a normal conversation, and hopefully we could possibly move past certain things that maybe we disagree upon. Because I don't want that to be, the stasis of how my channel is or whatnot. But I just want to, kind of move on. Okay, so we're almost towards my house. So literally, it's the next. It's right after this street, like past these three kind of trees. We'll probably see my old house. Good to hear, RZ. And which, by the way, the girl that I actually had this whole obsession with, by the way, this used to be the street she used to live on. And again, not mentioning names, but that's actually another part of the past that is a bit of a conflict for me. But I love coming through here, but sometimes I have it's just mysterious and strange. So we're almost there. So there's the old water tower right there. That used to be very, very different back in the day, like 2008 and 2009, but now it's completely different. Again, welcome to 2024, where a lot of things are different. Preferably, these lights weren't here, when I actually had to move out of state all those years back. But I kind of just remember it as if it was just yesterday. I was just 16 years old. 16 or 15 to be exact. Oh, the McJuggernuck stuff. Like, I've learned to let that go, whether if it was fake or real. Honestly, it wasn't really about making an ass of myself, but like, I honestly wish the dude and his brother and his family well. I just hope they're doing okay. Again, I just don't feel like it's worth going into that kind of thing anymore, and just to be respectful of the space of families. While I may not necessarily agree with certain bits of content that he's done in the past, honestly, what is me ranting and raving about it going to really do? Best thing to do right now is to, brush it off and keep on going. Okay, so by the way, I live only about necessarily like 15 minutes away from where I used to live, which, by the way, we're about to pass it, so we're actually going to come up across on that street before I get into my car. But of course, the dogs are barking. Wish I could be walking with you in person right now. That's good to hear. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if the person that lives here still lives on the street, because we're passing my old street right now. So this is basically where the Metallica Guru, by the way, before ThrashMetalGuru actually existed, by the way. I want to show you guys this. So we may not be at that house yet, but here is the street. So 1, 2, 3. It's the fourth house on the left, though. But we're gonna come across it here in just a moment, because we're actually gonna go around and see it. But this is where the Metallica Guru actually was born and created. All right there in that house, but we'll come up to it. But this is basically where a lot of important moments of my life actually happened, way before even the Metallica Guru even existed. Way, way, way before ThrashMetalGuru even existed. So, and yes, for those wondering, I will grow my hair back, but I think a lot of this is going to be going off for most of the time, because honestly, I'm just hideous and I have a self-conscious look about that for some reason. But I just can't help but feel like it's so weird. Might be a person or two left that still live around here, but as for the most sense, I feel like I'm the only person left in this particular area. It's more like a ghost town now. Speaking of, I might actually go to a place called Goat Bridge soon, which is supposed to be haunted. It's actually about 45 minutes away from here in Denton. So I'm not sure if I'll live stream that or I'll just go and visit that, but it's supposed to actually be haunted, about like a figure that wears a goat head on a bridge. It's supposed to be a ghost. So it's very scary, but I might actually go see it. It is, trust me. The history I had with this place, man, I actually had some nightmares in that home I used to live in. Trust me, that's where I can actually get more of my scary stories if you guys like to read more of a book. This right here, I remember when all this was literally just a ditch area. Now look how flattened it is. It is completely empty. But yeah, I would visit this place every single time that I came back from either Vegas or Arkansas, and I hated Arkansas, but I would fly out and visit and see this area, and trust me, man, I would break down and cry because, you know, I feel like I wasn't going to be able to see anyone that I loved or cared about again. But again, life is very, very, that's what I'm looking for. The world itself is a lot shorter than you believe. Trust me. In my life, I have run into some people I never thought I'd run into. I just hope there's no snakes out there, because that would be fucking scary. Because I can actually hear shit over there. I cut it only because it was just kind of bothering me in a sense, and I love long hair, but I was having a hard time trying to keep up with it when I was waking up, getting a shower or whatnot. And it's so weird. Leatherface, I mean, we are in Texas, and we're not actually too far away from some like open country land. Hey, possibly, maybe that's where they shot X. I don't know. Surprisingly. Alright, so go ahead and turn on this road right here. My car is literally like right there. That's where I parked. Originally, I didn't actually have any idea to actually do a live stream, but all the way. That's Rockport. We'll come up on the area here, because live stream is almost done. But I figured I'd spend some time with you guys, whether if you guys loved me or hated me, doesn't matter. Rather have company of those. But wow. So yeah, we're literally on my street right now. So we're kind of like coming up. So I'm gonna take one last walk around and get to the car and then call it a night. But the original idea of why I was doing this is because I am going to be live streaming some of the books that I made, and I figured I'd share that. I mean, I figured why not? Okay, so here it is. You may might not be able to see it. I hope you do. Misty Harbor Drive. That is my old address. It doesn't matter anymore because I don't live here. So anyone trying to pull some shit, good luck with that because I don't live here anymore. But so we're literally almost to the house. So I'm gonna try my best not to be like creepy about this, but like again, it's want to kind of show you guys exactly where the birth of the Guru channels actually came forth from. So I figured I owe you that much, but there's a lot, and I mean a lot of history with this place that means so much to me. And about 2 or 3 Christmases ago, I actually got to go back into my old home. And trust me, it was on Christmas Day, man. And I got to say, the Lord actually does work on his birthday, and I do mean that. Whether if you believe or not, I don't care. But it's right here. So this house right here. Hold on, see. Not sure if you can see it, but it's literally like right here. That is where it all happened. So, all right, I might go ahead and wrap it up here because I gotta head back though soon. But before I end it off, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, let me know. Because I know I've bored you guys enough. But again, this wasn't really intended for entertainment purposes. It's just more to kind of like connect back and check up with you guys. But glad to talk to you guys again. But I'm gonna give this about maybe 2 to 3 minutes before I end it off. And wow, that is so weird. It's like 10:49, but like, dude, look at the sky. It's so weird. Anyway, I'll just let this be a 2 to 3 minute silent reflection and see if anyone's got anything on their mind they want to talk about. We're passing my house right now, my old home. So, yay. Well, anyways, man, I'm gonna actually head off for the night. I've actually gotten my fill in. I might actually do this for Halloween. I'm not entirely sure, but anyways, I'm glad you guys came along for the ride, and you guys have a wonderful night. And I appreciate you guys coming out. So I'll catch you guys later.